Hello and welcome to all of our Gold viewers who are here with us today. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and one of the MCs here at Gold. And I'm here today with Fabiana Bacchini. And Fabiana will be presenting at our upcoming Gold Neonatal Online Conference. Welcome, Fabiana.
Hi, thank you. I'm very excited about this conference. I know there's many amazing speakers and great topics for us to be discussing soon.
Absolutely. And we'll love to have you here. And thank you for coming to sit down and chat with me a little bit about it. Your presentation is titled A Parent's Perspective, Family Integrated Care as a Tool to Help NICU Families Thrive. And what an important topic that is. And I'm so glad we're having you for that. But before we jump into this topic, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're not a nurse or doctor in the NICU. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Yes, I'm actually a preemie parent, and I've been volunteering at Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto for the last almost a decade, actually over a decade now, and really advocating for integration of families in the care of their babies. So, from my experience when we were in the NICU with my son, I was part of the family integrated care research study, and that was really a life changing for me and really prompted me to take on a new career. Now I lead the Canadian Premature Babies Foundation. So I'm very passionate about family integration in the NICU, and my presentation is going to be pretty much about my experience in the NICU, how that changed my perspective and my experience of the NICU, and also how I became a big advocate for families in my work today.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It's, of course, your personal journey there, your personal story. You had a baby yourself, as you mentioned, in the NICU for quite a while. And I can only imagine how emotional that, that must be, to the challenges you must have experienced as that. And seeing it's your baby there, and so talk to me a little bit about that challenge as a parent, what you have experienced there.
Yeah, so I was not expecting to have a preterm baby. I was expecting twins, and we knew one of our twins had a severe heart condition, but prematurity was not in our any of our conversations with any healthcare provider. So when I went into early labor, 25 weeks, I was very surprised that that was happening. There was even a possibility of delivering the babies early. So when I came to the ICU, it was a completely different world, obviously, because it was new. It was a new terminology. It was a new environment, not at all how I picture motherhood to be. I had a first child before who was a term baby, a fluffy, big pink baby. And then I see my extreme premature baby weighing 2 pounds, 900 grams, and I was very scared. So it was completely diving to the unknown. And throughout the weeks, as the weeks passed by and the alarms really became more familiar to me, is when we were introduced to the family integrated care study. And that was like a life-changing experience in the ICU. Is when I started becoming more comfortable in the ICU. And it was the first time that I actually felt like a mom. It was, and I'm not going to talk too much because obviously I don't want to spoil the presentation, but it was really a life changing the way I saw my son in the ICU and how I cope with an ICU and all the things that I learned to be his advocate, not only when he was in the ICU, but also coming home, because we have the baby for the rest of our lives, right? The NICU is a period of time in our lives, but you really going to take your baby home. So you have to know, to understand your baby, their needs, and how to be the best parent you can be and the best advocate.
And I can only imagine also, coming home with a baby from the NICU is very difficult too, because now you're home and you're constantly worrying, oh my goodness, am I doing something wrong? What if something is not right? And, all the worries there. How did you feel prepared for that through the study? Is there a part of that that also prepared you for the journey home as well?
In my personal experience, I think that FICARE, the Family Integrated Care, prepared me more for home. Really, it gave me all the tools that I need to take care of my son at home. We spent 5 months in an ICU, and we still brought him home on oxygen. So we really brought a little piece of the hospital home with no nursing support, right? So you're pretty much on your own. Now take the baby, all the hospital equipment to your house, and off you go. But I really felt empowered to do so because I was in the NICU every single day for average of 10 hours a day. So I knew how to read his cues. I knew what he needed. I knew, but the staff still reinforced me that I had those skills and I knew what to do. Besides all the education sessions that I had, they reassured me, you're ready to take him home. And I will share some of the stories and how my knowledge was tested at home after the NICU stay, right? Because one thing is for you to know what to do in the ICU with the hospital staff helping you, supporting you, coaching you, and taking over all the medical necessities of the baby. The other thing is coming home with that knowledge. It's like, oh, now I'm alone. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So my knowledge was tested a few times, and I will share those pieces and how important it was for me to be involved in an ICU. Otherwise, our outcomes wouldn't have been the same.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. You mentioned, of course, this changed, you changed careers, the advocate there in this role. And you're traveling the world, presenting, speaking on this topic too. And one thing you and I talked about a little before even our conversation here is how surprised you often were that not more parents were involved, right? You're holding these presentations and maybe sometimes you're the first and only person or parent who've been involved in this. So talk to me about that experience a little bit more.
Thank you. Yes. I'm going to share one example of my story and why I changed my career and started doing this work, and is a gratitude. And I always talk about gratitude to the journey that I had, the experience that I had to do the work that I do today. And why I became this advocate for families around the world is because I want experience. And I think that feeling that I carry with me is what prompted me to do what I do and to really empower other families to become advocates. We know not all families will be a voice for other families, right? Not everybody is going to be able to do that, but I feel for many of us who can, we should. And I think that is the most incredible thing now that you see this movement around the world of engaged parent partners that we call in Canada, like myself, that we go to conferences, that we engage in research studies, that we collaborate in research, that will help to shape the research question. We participate in quality improvement projects. And I think that is the way neonatology is moving towards this collaboration model that we can work and do better things together, right? Because I'm very grateful to be here today because you listen to my voice as a parent, to my experience. You learn from me, and I also learn from you. So I can continue to do the work that we do, bring the parents' voice to the table, but in collaboration. Nobody can do anything alone, right? I think we're so much better together.
Yes, the collaboration part is such an important part, right? And it will result in better care, not only for the baby, but also for the whole family unit. And as you mentioned, feeling stronger going home, being a part of the care, not, an outsider to because the parents are the experts on their babies. Yes, of course, they need the medical expertise in the sense as well, of course, but still, the parents are the parents. So yeah, absolutely. So Fabiana, before I let you go, final last words here for our audience. What would you like to leave them with here today?
Well, join the conference because I think it will be an incredible way for us to learn together, to share experiences together, to understand what is happening in different parts of the world and how can we better do things for families moving forward. And we always think about families who had stories like mine. There is a loss involved. Why would you do such a things? And we do it together. So we ease the way for all other families coming after us. And I think this is an incredible platform for us to learn together. How can we do that better?
Well, thank you so much, Fabiana Bacchini, for coming here today. And we are so looking forward to the presentation here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now some information for our viewers. The presentation, A Parent's Perspective, Family Integrated Care as a Tool to Help NICU Families Thrive, is part, as I mentioned, of our Gold Neonatal Online Conference here at Gold. We get started on June 3rd with an opening keynote presentation by Dr. Niels Bergman. And this is open access, so you will be able to participate and watch the presentation, that opening keynote presentation, free of charge. And of course, check out all the wonderful presentations of the conference. And we invite you to go to goldneonatal.com for more information. And we hope to see everyone at the conference. Bye-bye, everyone.